Welcome back to Sports Ramble, where this gaggle of guys talks about sports in an unconventional manner. Joined today by Joseph Silik. I'm Big D. Here's Thomas Minshew and Nate right here in the same room as me. It's crazy. And then our host, as always, Corbin Rush.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sports Ramble, the number one podcast for your sporting needs. Well, it could be. And we're here today. We're going to talk about some NFL football. We hit college football in the last pod. So we're going to give you a little insight to the NFL season, what's been going on in preseason. So to start us off, I'm going to shoot it on over to the guy with the controversial flag behind his head. Joe, what's going on over there with your Washington, them who shall not be named? Or can we name them?
So I think that now that like the there's been that whole like stuff going on in the news about like possibly bringing the name back. So I think we can read it. I don't think we can say it yet. I'm not sure how that works, but that's why it's up, because I'm petitioning for it to come back.
And then what about all those people that bought Commanders gear and football team gear? What about them?
I paid the money once. I can pay it again.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. So I guess we'll just segue straight on into the what do we call? Should we continue to call them the Redskins on this podcast? Should we just all, in support of our original Washington team, should we all just continue to call them the Redskins?
In solidarity, yes.
Okay. In solidarity, we're going to continue to call them the Redskins because we believe. So, Joe, why don't you, Nate, you're an Eagles fan, so this really doesn't apply to you. Dennis, why don't you tell us about your Redskins team? What's going on? Sam Howell, the starter.
Oh, Sam Howell, the truth, who I've been saying for years. Oh, the Sam Howell guy's going to be special. You know what I love the most about that? You watched the preseason game from last week, and the NFL is doing a great job of incorporating these college dynamics. They brought in Kwame Brown from UNC, and him and Sam Howell look electric already, and it's the preseason. You got Burrow and Chase. You got Tua and Waddle down in Miami. Like, you're seeing this dynamic of NFL teams bringing in, like, their guy from college, right, for their quarterback. And it's working out great. Hurts and A.J. Brown, they were high school teammates. Like, it was great. It's great for the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, Sam Howell zipping the ball. Like, that, I mean, they beat the Ravens. I know it's preseason. I know it doesn't count, but broke their 24-win streak. Just saying.
That's the only thing I will hear about this random ass statistic about a 24-game preseason game win streak. I will not hear another word about it. That is all for the podcast.
That's all I had to say anyway. But
preseason
Sam Howell
doesn't win championships. We know that.
Is looking like a promised future for Washington. We kind of like let him sit back last year, let him kind of learn some stuff. I mean, there's not much to learn in Washington, let's be honest, but maybe we're actually taking it slow with the quarterback, and it might actually pay off. Some people are saying he looks like a young Matthew Stafford. Now, I hope it doesn't end up like the Lions, but we'll see.
Schneider's gone, right? I mean, he's gone for good.
He's on the Lions.
Yeah. So Schneider's gone though. Dan Schneider's
gone for good.
Gone for
Josh
good.
Harris,
Not coming
the
back.
leadership group is taking over, and
So
that's where this name might be coming back.
Okay, and I heard there was a Native American group that petitioned for the Redskins to even be brought back. So that's a lot of good signs for your Redskins. I mean, they're still, you know, what's crazy to me is that the NFC East was considered the worst division in football. Not even 2 years ago? Am I mistaken? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So the NFC East was considered the worst division 3 years ago, and that was anybody's division. And now it's considered one of the toughest divisions in football. And I would say the toughest division in the NFC by far, considering the Rams have fallen off, the Cardinals have fallen off. You don't see a lot of competition besides the Seahawks and the Niners. And then
the NFC
really
North fell apart.
Yeah, the NFC North. I always get these. NFC South is Falcons,
Saints.
Okay, Panthers and
Panthers.
So those.
Yeah.
So those. I mean, that division's literally disgustingly bad. And then you have, shout out to all my NFC South fans. We love you, but your division is terrible. And then, the NFC North, it's just, there's really not a whole lot of competition in the NFC coming outside the NFC East, which is the most competitive division. Now Washington's kind of at the bottom of
In
the
the-
barrel in that division. I mean, they're the worst team in that division, in my opinion.
They're in the mix though. Like
I think it's going to be a solid run for second place in the NFC East. I mean, the Eagles, as much as I hate to admit it, are going to come out on top. There's no
Just
question about it.
Like, put
Look
those
at
wings
them.
away. If you're gonna do that, at least flex the lats, man. Don't pull the wings out. Pull the real wings out. You know what I mean? But no. So I you don't think the Redskins have a chance against the Eagles this season?
I
You
mean,
think the Eagles sweep the
they
Eagles?
beat them last year, and Nate's going to have some problems with that. But I don't see it happening necessarily again. The Eagles have only gotten better. They didn't lose anyone. They've only built that team better.
Yeah. Chewy, you're kind of in the middle between Washington and Philadelphia, considering you live in Philly now. Are you more of a Eagles fan since they went to the Super Bowl last year, or are you sticking to the you're gonna stick to the Redskins? Listen, you're our residential bandwagon. We got to keep up with where you're going every season, man. We just got to know who you align with.
Every week,
gotta follow the wagon, baby. You never know where
We
it's
can
headed
count on
next.
Chewy to tell us who the best team is.
Yeah, possibly truth there. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna spend more time watching Eagles games, especially because I want to go to a couple this year. But I'll spend a decent amount of time watching the Redskins as well, and seeing what they're doing, especially with the new ownership group over there. I think the best thing for them was getting Dan Schneider out, and only positive things can come from where they're at now. I mean, they are going to start from the bottom, but from what we've seen, at least thus far in preseason, I like what they're doing. I think it'll be a competitive battle between them and the Giants for number 2 and number 3. I think positive things are going to come out of this season and going into the next season as well.
I will just say he's not sly. I absolutely love that the Cowboys are just not even considered in this conversation. I cannot stand out.
No, I don't believe
I was
in the
about to bring
Cowboys.
it up though.
Listen, I think Dak is an amazing human being, and I want Dak to be successful. But if we look at what he's done, especially last season was just, maybe that was an outlier, I don't know. But ever since his rookie season, they haven't won a playoff game. Well, no, have they? They won the one last, but like they haven't made it past the divisional round. So, like the Cowboys
Dak did not look good last season, and everyone
Also been in NFC Championship since the 90s.
Yeah. Like the Cowboys just disappoint year in, year out. And I love it because there's nothing better than waking up on a Monday morning to Skip Bayless absolutely losing his mind and trying to defend the Cowboys in any way that he can.
In the memes.
How about them Cowboys? Good old
exactly.
Steven.
Nothing is better than watching Stephen A come on with the cowboy hat and that big old sideways smile he got. How about them Cowboys? But staying in the NFC.
The Cowboys might surprise you this year, though. That's the thing.
I don't know. The Cowboys actually, on paper, have one of the best rosters in the league. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But it's the Cowboys. They'll fumble the bag.
They
Dak had how many interceptions last year?
Oh, too many. Like 2 a game.
I feel like Dallas is such a. Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
I was just gonna say, like, the best ad for the Redskins this whole, like, in this time period was not even like the subtraction of terrible ownership, right? It wasn't bringing in this wide receiver who has great chemistry with the truth, Sam Howell. It's Bieniemy. The pickup of Bieniemy for a coordinator, an assistant head coach, absolute stellar move. Absolute stellar move.
And he's already getting the boys going a lot harder than they're used to. And also on the defensive side of the ball, we did exactly what I said we should do since when we talked about this last, in February or January. We stacked up on the defense a little bit. We got Chase Young back. Washington's looking pretty decent on paper, but it's still Washington. So
the NFC East is the division to beat in the NFC, I think. In my
we play
opinion,
the AFC this year. So we have probably the NFC East has the toughest schedule probably.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the Redskins are good because I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't know too much about the NFC East. I am unfortunately a Tennessee Titans fan. RIP our season. But, I like to hear from you guys. So AJ Brown, I don't want to talk about it. You know what, Nate? You're welcome. we didn't want to go to the Super Bowl. That's too much pressure. Like, we had to really temper expectations, so we had to get rid of our best receiver, one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. So, just take care of him. Continue to take care of him. He's a good guy. Staying in the NFC, we have another NFC fan here, Seattle Seahawks boy.
Go back.
Do you want to stay in?
Hawks.
Yeah. So, tell us about what's going on in the offseason with your Seahawks, how you're feeling about their potential this season, and Geno Smith. Obviously, we need to know about him.
I'm ecstatic, right? And I was just telling Nate in the car today, I was like, you know what I forgot? I was so excited, have high hopes for this season. And you know who I forgot is on the roster? Jamal Adams. Completely slipped my mind that he's coming back this year. He's a good in-the-box safety. He's one of the top in-the-box safeties.
He can't cover. He's a liability in the secondary.
I said in-the-box safety. Did you not hear what I said?
I know, but I'm just saying you're taking one guy out of coverage.
Linebacker. He's an athlete. You can't deny he's an athlete.
No, he is. He is an athlete. I'm sorry. Continue.
Does he have the best ball skills? No, he doesn't have the best ball skills. But my take is that's a super young team, right? Last year, not this year, but like last year, 2022 in the draft, they picked up K9, fantastic rookie running back season last year, right? Mm-hmm. They got two solid starters at left and right tackle in Charles Cross and Lucas Abraham. Like, that offensive line has shored up a lot. And then you take a receiving core, one of the more deadly duos, I won't say the best, in DK and Tyler Lockett. You add JSN to that. Dude.
Seattle's receiver room's top 10.
Trio.
Yeah.
That might be the best trio of receivers.
I don't think you're beating the Bengals trio.
Distribution need to be the best for them? No, it's not. But the best, if you look at just 1, 2, 3 receivers, I think that's the best in the league right now. Granted, we haven't seen JSN play, so
he's also hurt.
Yeah, but I'm saying when healthy, this receiver room could be like top in the league.
You really think they could beat out the Bengals as the best receiver trio in the NFL? Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Come on, Dennis. Like, let's be realistic here.
I don't know. We'll to be
top three trio in the NFL. I'll give you top 3 trio.
That defense super young, right? That secondary with Tariq Woolen. You got Michael Jackson out there, Kobe Bryant, like some dogs at defensive back, right? And then you know who we brought back this year? Bobby Wagner.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
To shore it up. If that defensive line can figure it out, like, it's a bulletproof team.
Heard.
But Dennis, I have a question for you. How do the Seahawks win that division against the 49ers?
Shootout.
Question is Brock Purdy stay healthy?
Yeah, that's a big one.
They have 3 starting quarterbacks on that team.
They have 2.
I don't think it matters.
I don't believe in Trey Lance. And we're gonna hit on this. We're gonna hit on this in a minute. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic there, but continue, Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I think the 49ers
split the season with the Niners, like, 1 win, 1 loss.
I'm just saying is that the Niners are just so stacked, like, compared to anyone else in the NFC other than the Eagles.
Yeah.
Only question is quarterback, but they do have 3 phenomenal quarterbacks, and you can say Lance is not a starting quarterback, but he's still a damn good backup to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never know what's going to happen on any given Sunday, 2, any given year.
All right, real quick, Joe, because you're making me mad because you've said this now twice, and I let it slide the first time a little bit, but now I'm going to tear into you real quick. Trey Lance is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Trey Lance is not a backup quarterback in the NFL. There's a reason he's behind Sam Darnold on the depth chart in San Francisco, buddy.
I don't think he actually is, but all right.
No, he's declared number 3 on the depth chart behind Sam Darnold. Listen, Trey Lance. Not even over yet. Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me tell you something, buddy. Trey Lance, as much as I want the guy to be successful because he's gotten a raw deal in the NFL, he's not good. He hasn't played enough football to be good. That's the problem. He's never going to get the opportunities that he needs to be good. And that's just sometimes how your sticks, like how the cards go your way. Like, you just don't get the chance. And Trey Lance does not, huh?
You just said he hasn't had the chance to show that he's good.
No, he hasn't had the chance to get better, and he's not going to now.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. On the 49ers need to trade him. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm saying is that he's still a good quarterback, but he needs to develop, just like how Sam Howell's developing.
He's not a good
Sam
quarterback,
Howell's
though.
developing in Washington.
He's
You don't
not
know
a good
that.
quarterback.
You
I
haven't
do
seen
know
him
that.
play.
I've
He's an
watched him
athlete.
play.
You can't take that away from him. He's an
Yes,
athlete.
but
He's
he's
an
not
athlete
as
of playing
athletic.
Quarterback? No, he's not a good quarterback.
He's not as athletic as everybody thought he was either. He is not Anthony Richardson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not these guys. He's a good athlete for a quarterback. He's a good athlete. I would put him, probably like B+ tier athlete at the quarterback position. I mean, obviously Lamar's like your A tier, Josh Allen's your A tier, like Anthony Richardson, athletic wise, he's going to be your A tier. I'm saying Trey Lance is not the guy that he thought he was coming out of college, and it's not Trey Lance's fault. I'm not saying Trey Lance is a bad person. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's never going to get the opportunities to get better because he's not good enough to earn the playing time on the field to get better at his position. And
I'm saying
at this point, it's a lost cause for the 49ers. He's not a good quarterback. He's not a good backup to have because he has nothing to offer.
I don't think you can say he's not a good backup because he's a lot better than probably most of the backups in the NFL. And
he's
having
behind
him on your
Sam
roster
Darnold for a reason, Joe.
I understand, but Sam Darnold's also a starting quarterback and probably half the teams in the NFL.
What?
Dennis, I said my piece. I'm going to get aggressive. Dennis, I'm going to get aggressive here, so you got to take over. I got to calm down.
I'm just saying he's had the starting job at multiple organizations. I'm saying Brock Purdy. The only reason Brock Purdy is starting is because he's shown that he is good enough to start. And he played a great season last season. And we can argue that all we want. But I'm saying is that Trey Lance and Sam Darnold fighting out for second place is not going to matter. I think the 49ers ended up.
You just ruined yourself right there, Joe. You just said Sam Darnold had a starting job in multiple organizations. Why is he not still the starter?
I'm saying
better
he's
than
still a
starting quarterbacks in the league. Why is he not still a starter?
Listen, I feel for Trey Lance. I feel bad for the guy. He's gotten a raw end of the deal. He hasn't had the chance to develop and grow into a better player. He just doesn't get enough snaps. And when he does get the snaps, so he's had 3 starts in the NFL. One of them, he played one of the worst starts you could ask for, but it was first start. All right, it's his first start as a number 1 quarterback. We watched that one. It was in a monsoon, whatever. Second start, he breaks his leg, and he gets outplayed by Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. And his first start in his rookie season, he was not impressive whatsoever. Trey Lance he's not a starting quarterback. He's not a phenomenal backup quarterback. At best, you might get a 5th-round pick for Trey Lance right now. And I'm not trying to come at you. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to attack you personally, Joe. It's just that take was horrendous.
I'm saying is that he hasn't had the chance to develop. If he had the chance to
he's
develop,
not going to get
but he's not going to get the
I'm not
chance.
saying with the 49ers. I'm saying with another team.
Anyway, he will never get the chance to develop.
The only way he is going to get any sort of starting chance to play professional football is if he leaves and goes to the XFL or the CFL. That is the only way he is going to get a starting job in any sort of organization.
I agree. We could see a PJ Walker situation. It could be a PJ Walker situation. He goes, he finally gets some reps. He's thrown like only 236 pass attempts in his last 4 or 5 years of football. You don't get better.
460 something, but all right.
Ooh, a stat guy over here. No stats. Oh, no. Not like we're doing a sports podcast and you got to know the stats. Whatever. Nate, you've been awfully quiet back there. You've just been smiling. I think you're just glad I'm not coming for you right now, but I want to hear what your opinion is.
My opinion? Well, Trey Lance?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think he should be a starting quarterback. Same like the rest of you. I think,
or honestly, backup.
Or 3rd string, maybe practice squad. And maybe, even go to the XFL, rematch, FCS rematch. DiNucci versus Trey Lance, bring it back. Maybe.
Nucci's on the Broncos.
Not for long.
Not for long.
We love you, Nooch.
It shows the relevance. Like, I don't think Trey Lance is gonna get the opportunities that you think he is. I mean, I understand he's like you guys are saying he's a decent athlete. I'm not gonna disagree with that, but I don't think like y'all are saying like he's not gonna be this top tier quarterback that Joe is. I'm just
saying
a great point though.
It is
FCS quarterback.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, and Carson,
that should be the whole argument right there. He's an FCS quarterback.
And Nate knows about FCS quarterbacks better than most.
Yeah.
So
Nate actually was an FCS quarterback back in the day.
But so sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to jump on your case about it. It's just the Trey Lance situation makes me so angry with the amount of people that are coming to defend him. And he's not even I don't.
How is it a meat writer if you're just defending the
Oh,
fact of being
it
down on
sucks.
his luck?
Listen, it
Look,
sucks that he's
The
been.
only reason you would get offended by that is if you knew you were a Trey Lance meat rider.
And Joe, it's okay. You can ride Trey Lance's meat, and no one's gonna judge you for that except for us and everybody else that watches this podcast. Okay, like
Anywho,
it's okay.
I say it's easy to say he doesn't have a spot anywhere in the NFL when it's the beginning of the season and we haven't seen what happens.
It's been 3
weeks in.
seasons, Joe. It's been 3
I'm
seasons.
saying-
And he
I
couldn't
promise.
beat Jimmy Garoppolo out.
Joe?
He couldn't beat Brock Purdy out.
I'm done. Corbin keeps bringing it up. I'm done.
Okay. Off the Trey Lance subject.
No. I want to throw one more thing
Okay.
right now.
Kick him while he's down, Chewy. Kick him while he's down.
Everybody off, and then y'all can come at me for this one on too. Right now, I wouldn't take Kyler Murray or Trey Lance.
Cut the tape.
What? No, I'm curious. Okay, I'm curious about
both
this.
of them
I might have to
are
side with you,
In
too.
my mind, both of them are the exact same.
Kyler Murray's a freak athlete.
Kyler
A freak athlete.
Murray does nothing but direct that team straight into the ground.
He's a freak athlete except when it's double XP weekend on COD.
No, we gotta. Hey, yo, allegedly double XP. We're gonna get sued, man. I don't have the money to get sued right now. Allegedly
That's
double
fine.
XP
He
weekend.
doesn't watch game film. He's not going to watch this.
Speaking of it, he's a freak athlete.
Kyler, we think you're really athletic, man, and you have a
Hell
wicked
of
arm,
an
man.
athlete. Should have chosen baseball, but
Yeah.
we're going to that.
Oh, there's my dog. And
Joe had something he said he wanted to get me riled up with earlier.
Yes.
So,
he did.
okay.
wait,
So we've avoided this topic. Okay, go ahead, Corbin. Sorry, I'll save it.
real quick, I just want to hit on the Kyler Murray thing. Chewy, I think you're partially right. He is a freak. But my only problem is I think he's a cancer in the locker room. You can hear it from all the guys that like talk about him too. No one really goes to defend Kyler Murray, but at least from what I've heard, allegedly from what I've heard, no one really goes to defend him. But dude, with his talent and his ability to make things happen, I think you still stick with the guy just based on what his upside is. His ceiling is so high.
So high.
But
so high.
all right, sorry. All right, Joe, now get Dennis riled up.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
See?
I have a bad feeling I know where this is going. If you mention
I
playoffs,
want to ask the question to the group.
if you
Are they
mention play-
overrated?
Oh yes.
No, they're
100%.
underrated. What?
There we go.
Everybody,
There we go.
Oh,
everybody on their saying their
Well, I
ceiling
stir
is
the
6
pot.
and 10. Everybody on their is like their floor is 6 and 10. I think at minimum they're a 9-win team. There's no way they're not a 9-win team.
Wait, who'd you say is 6 and 10?
No, I'm saying everybody's saying their floor is 6 and 10. I think their floor is 9-win team.
9 and 8.
9 and 8. I think that's their floor. I think their ceiling is at least going 12 and 6. 12 and 5. 12 and 6.
Sounds like-
What is it? 17 games? I can't remember now. It's a 17 game regular season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all this. There's college rules are changing and NFL rules are changing. I don't know.
I just want
Anyway.
I want to hear what Dennis has to say about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and then I want to say something back.
All I know is, hey, they can be as good as they want in the regular season. When Aaron Rodgers gets to the playoff, he doesn't do shit. They're going to lose. They might win a wild card game if they get put up against, I don't know, maybe the Jags just because of experience, right? Like, maybe the Jags. Because they're not winning that division. So they're going to be a wild card team. You think they're winning that division?
Okay, the Bills
Listen,
choke. The Dolphins have a
no.
I'm with Joe on this. I'm with Joe on this, Joe.
The country has Bills fatigue.
They do.
We've just been waiting for the Bills to like crest that hill. They've
And
been
they
getting
have.
to the
And
top of
they
that hill
can't
for
do
like
it.
5 years in a row.
Josh
But
Allen
they're
regressed
still-
without Brian
they're
Dable.
They're still a 12-win team even when they're bad.
That's because they've been playing the Patriots who have nobody on their roster. Like their best wide receiver, I don't even know his name anymore. Like, is it Juju now? Is Juju Smith-Schuster their best wide
Juju.
receiver? Now they got Zeke, a washed up Zeke as their starting running back. The Patriots have been terrible for the last 3 years. So the Bills run through them. The Jets have been terrible for the last 20 years. The Bills run through the Jets. And then you have who's the Miami Dolphins. They've been one of the worst franchises in NFL history besides the Arizona Cardinals. Besides the time before, like with Dan Marino, the 13-0 team. Like they have been a terrible organization for the last 20 years. Of course, the Bills are going to take over as soon as there's a gap without Tom Brady there, with Bill Belichick falling behind a little bit, with their then inability to get talent into that division. Now we see in Tua, Tua's coming in, and as much as I am scared for that guy's life when he's out there on the field, he's an elite quarterback. And then I will stand by that. I think Tua, if he can stay healthy, is an elite quarterback. We'll get to that back later. But I'm just saying, like, now the Patriots, I think, are the bottom of that division, and the Jets now have Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They have Dalvin Cook, Aaron Rodgers. They have that offensive
play.
They have what?
There's been one running back to come back, like really come back from an ACL tear, right? We know who that is, right?
AP.
And he's a freak of nature. Like the likelihood that we see another running back like that in the next 15 years is slim to none. This is like a slight frames, like quick, elusive receiving back type guy. This is not like your Derrick Henry.
They also have Dalvin Cook now too.
I don't care.
I'm just saying. I think the Jets.
Say they win the division. Say they win the conference and they get a first round bye. It doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback and you're going to lose in the playoffs.
Listen, he went on a darkness retreat and he has changed. He saw something in there.
He'll do it again.
And in week 5, when he's tired of it, he's going to go on another one and he's going to change again back to the old Aaron Rodgers and still lose in the playoffs like he does every year.
Aaron Rodgers
does not matter.
He's the greatest arm talent we've ever seen in football, and I'll stand by that. I'll die on that hill. Wow, some of y'all did not like that take.
See, honestly, I'm still up in the air on Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to break the silence here because part of me,
he's won Super Bowl.
Hold
and
on,
they want to say
fucking
he's
finish a take.
Time. What the fuck? What the fuck?
All right, Joe.
No, that's
There
fine.
went the rating.
Nope, I'm good. Listen, I think anybody want to take a potty bet on this one?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. Aaron Rodgers finishes ahead of Patrick Mahomes in MVP voting this season.
Absolutely not. How much? $20.
$20. Aaron Rodgers finishes ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
That is going to be $20 in my pocket that you absolutely do not have, sir.
Man, why are they coming? Why am I getting picked on?
Hey,
Actually,
how
very
much
bad.
How much time?
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5.
Let's rip our MVP favorites.
Okay. All right, y'all go first. I gotta think about this. I gotta let it.
We know who Nate's going with.
Yeah.
Please enlighten. Who am I taking?
He said, wait.
I don't even know why I even said anything.
Mention who you got.
I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts as well. I think that's a safe bet.
Wait, do you
Papa
agree,
Joe?
Nate?
I'm going to take
Yeah.
a hot take and say Justin Fields.
Okay.
What?
I like
that.
I like that take. I like that take.
I mean, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, running game. I see.
The division's up in the air. I mean,
Division. It's worse than the division has ever been.
Like the Detroit Lions are favored by a lot in that division. That's saying something.
but it's
yeah,
also
that's
the Lions.
I'm saying
I don't
right
care
now
what you
there's
say.
a lot.
I know.
That's
Dan
saying
Campbell
something.
has got them boys right.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But anyways, any
Who you
whom?
got?
Who do
My
I
vote
have?
says you in person.
Who do I have?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. I think he wins the MVP this year.
Bless him.
I think he wins the MVP. Dude, the weapons, he's come back a new man. He went on the darkest retreat. He got rid of the man in the hat that watches him from the stadium. I think Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP this year at 40 years old.
You want to talk
39
about
years old.
Meat Rider?
Yeah. God. Yo,
I'm not even an Aaron Rodgers fan. I've just been watching the tape, man. Watch
That's the
you
only
just been
reason that
riding
he
the
has.
meat. You don't have time. You don't have time to be a fan because you're too busy riding the meat. I can't.
I'll
And that's
take
the
every
problem.
20
That's
bucks,
the only
Chewy.
reason he's in
And I'm
MVP
saying-
conversation is because everyone rides his meat.
Yeah, here's a hint. Here's a hint. I did not have the same pick as Corbin.
Oh, that's
I
a
got
good one,
Trey.
Dennis.
I got T-Law winning the MVP.
I actually really like that. That's a really good pick.
That's not a bad pick.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah, see,
especially with Doug Peterson down there
And wait,
getting them
ODP.
right.
And the great words of Nick Wright, he's just got a thick neck, man. He just got one of those thick neck.
one of those thick necks. What does he call him? The Prince?
Yeah. Dude, I love Nick. I love Nick Wright. He's awesome.
But no, he realistically, if you're just looking at the second half of the season, he's probably an MVP favorite through the last half of last season when he really started to figure it out with Doug Peterson.
He
right?
went on a tear.
And you know what happened? He picked up an actual wide receiver. He has Calvin Ridley now. Christian Kirk is not his number one guy anymore.
Yeah. No, the Jaguars are unsung. I just didn't want to talk about them because they're obviously going to run through my Titans. So
they're going to run.
All right, so we got Jalen Hurts, T-Law, the right one, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Fields. Correct?
Yo, I love that Justin Fields pick, by the way.
Yeah, honestly,
Thanks,
that's
buddy.
a really good sleeper pick. I think definitely a dark horse MVP candidate.
Yeah.
So,
Same kind of situation, not as good of a team fundamentally. Same kind of situation as Lamar, like going into his MVP season.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, there was a lot of conjecture in this podcast. I don't think that I used that word correctly, but a lot of
I think it
debate.
was wrong either.
I don't know. I don't know what that
Somehow
word
I
even
don't
means. But all right, is it before we wrap it up? Is there any last words anybody wants to say about the NFL before we kick it off this season? Because the next podcast is going to be about college football. So get your last shots in for the NFL before the season starts.
Yeah, just you're wrong about like 90% of it.
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
Interesting. Y'all will all be eating crow just like you will be when Tennessee absolutely whoops Georgia towards the end of the season in college football
I
as
eat
well.
crow like once an episode once the season starts. So
Hey, welcome to my life, buddy. I'm wrong every take. Every single one. I don't think I've had one right take yet.
I'm right 100% of the time, about 6% of the time. So
Hey, 40% of the time it works every time. Am I right?
that's right.
All right. Nothing else, Joe? You got nothing?
I'm all good.
All right, Redskins, bring the name back. Nate, I like your hat. Chewy, you're also wearing the same style of hat. Interesting. Go Tigers. All right, thank you guys for stopping by with us. Like, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Check us out on the next podcast. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.